Good afternoon. Welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Saturday, December 13th, 2025, and I am here once again with my good buddy, Doug, and we are here to talk about Week 15 in the NFL. Doug, before we get into that, I know you've been feeling under the weather this week. We're glad that you're feeling better now, so hopefully we're going to have a great week ahead of us and hope you can stay above the weather and everything else that's getting people sick. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one gets sick out there either.
Yeah, definitely want our people to be healthy. Speaking of the weather, I know we're going to be having some cold weather here. I know you guys are going to have some cold weather. Are you guys getting a lot of the same weather that like Chicago's getting? I know they're going to be like -20, -30 with the wind chill.
Oh yeah, a little colder where I'm at, but yeah, right around there.
Yeah. So
yeah, they stay inside.
Yeah. Are you guys getting any snow or just cold weather?
It's almost too cold to snow, Josh.
It's what?
Almost too cold to snow outside.
Is there really such a thing? I didn't really think that was possible.
Yeah, you get right around 0 or below it. It's very difficult to snow.
Yeah.
Unless you get lake effect snow, then it can.
True. You guys already have snow there, or have you not gotten snow yet?
Got like a foot on the ground outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't gotten ours yet, but I'm sure it's coming around the corner. Anyway,
it affect the games this weekend, though.
Yeah, this weekend the weather's definitely going to play an important role. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk in general, we would love to have you join us in our Discord, which we will be giving out a free week's membership to our Discord during the podcast. So definitely stick around for that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our game-by-game overview. We had the game Thursday night where the Falcons upset the Buccaneers. And now we're going to go to the Sunday slate, starting at Cleveland at Chicago. Chicago is a 7.5-point favorite. They are -370 on the money line with an over-under of 38.5. 10 degrees is the high. 15-degree winds blowing to the west-northwest with a wind chill somewhere around 20 to 30 below. So very cold. I would not expect a lot of points from this game. Probably going to look at the defenses in this game, maybe some of the running backs, and that's about it. I think this game from a fantasy standpoint is going to be one we want to avoid. What do you think?
For the most part, you got tight ends in play.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially with Njoku's out. Njoku's out for Cleveland, so Fannin could be in play for Cleveland. I do like that play.
I like that, yes.
Yes. Then we go to the Cincinnati-Baltimore divisional game. Baltimore is a 2.5-point favorite on the road, -160 on the money line with an over-under of 51.5. Very similar weather, 11 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing to the northwest. Cincinnati beat Baltimore in Baltimore on Thanksgiving, of course, and this is the rematch in Cincinnati. So I personally think Cincinnati is going to win again. I think they might even sneak in the playoffs. They're kind of no, they're probably not going to. They're 4-9, never mind. But I do think they're going to win this game, though. I know it's a must-win game for Baltimore. I just think that Cincinnati is a better team at this point. Baltimore is really kind of fallen off, and I don't see that changing because Lamar Jackson just does not look right. He looks like he needs a year of recovery or off-season of recovery before he's going to be what we expect from Lamar Jackson again.
Yeah.
Arizona and Houston. Houston's a 10-point favorite at home, -530 on the money line with an over-under of 42.5. They're indoors, so there's no weather concerns. New York Jets taking on Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 14-point favorite at home, -970 on the money line with an over-under of 41.5. 71 degrees with the wind blowing to the northwest at 13 miles an hour. We have the Los Angeles Chargers and Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Chiefs are a 6-point favorite at home, minus 280 on the money line with an over-under of 41.5. 18 degrees with the wind blowing to the north-northeast at just 3 miles an hour. We have the Bills and the Patriots. A lot of divisional games this week. Bills are a 1-point favorite on the road, minus 120 on the money line with an over-under of 49.5. 30% chance. 30% chance of precipitation. I'm assuming that's going to be snow. 30 degrees with the wind blowing to the northwest at 8 miles an hour. We have the Washington Commanders in New York taking on the Giants. Giants are a 2.5-point favorite at home, minus 140 on the money line with an over-under 46.5. 29 degrees with the wind blowing to the northwest at 13 miles an hour. We have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Philly's a 12.5-point favorite at home, minus 820 on the money line with an over-under of 39.5. 29 degrees with the wind blowing to the northwest at 15 miles an hour. And we have the 425 slate. The Packers taking on the Broncos. Green Bay is a 1-point favorite. It was 2.5 earlier in the week, so it's definitely gone down. 1-point favorite, minus 115 on the money line with an over-under of 43.5. The wind blowing to the south at 3 miles an hour. 63 degrees, so pretty warm day for December in Denver, to say the least. Josh Jacobs is questionable, and they just added Emmanuel Wilson this morning. I don't know if you saw that, but he's dealing with an illness, so he's going to be questionable as well. So
yeah, real
that
quick,
could be a potential issue. I think that's probably why the line moved, because like I said, it was Green Bay 2.5. Now it's just 1. So
yeah, I got information on Jacob real quick. He'll play.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought that based on what I saw yesterday from practice, it looked like he was running pretty good.
He took the day off, and that's why it's on there.
Yeah. So I think Jacob definitely play
straight from Green Bay. Yeah.
And I don't know about Wilson, but they haven't really been using Wilson much when Jacob's healthy anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal, I don't think. Detroit in Los Angeles. This is probably the game of the week, in my opinion. Rams are a 6-point favorite at home, minus 260 on the money line with an over-under 54.5. Definitely from a fantasy standpoint, this is the game I want to look at the most, I think. There should be a lot of points in that game. So I do like that game quite a bit. Carolina in New Orleans, another divisional game. Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite on the road, minus 150 on the money line with an over-under of 40.5. We have the Titans in San Francisco. San Francisco is a 12.5-point favorite at home, minus 820 on the money line with an over-under of 44.5. Wind blowing to the northwest at 5 miles an hour, 61 degrees. We have 44-year-old Phillip Rivers taking on the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle's a 13.5-point favorite at home, minus 900 on the money line with an over-under 42.5. 50% chance of rain, 55 degrees, 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing to the south. And it's pretty interesting. They're going to be rolling out Phillip Rivers out there. So 44 years old. We'll see what he can do. Brady played pretty well at 45, but the difference is that Rivers has been out of the league for, I don't know how many years, several years.
5 years.
5 years. Yeah, 5 years he's been out of the league. So you don't just roll out of bed and walk into an NFL field and just succeed right away, especially against a team like Seattle. I mean, they have a very good defense, good secondary, good front seven. So I think that's going to be a long day for Phillip Rivers. Minnesota and Dallas, by the way, good call on the Vikings defense last week against the Commanders. They pitched a shutout, I believe. I know at one point it was 31-0. Did they end up with a shutout, or did Washington?
Yeah, they shut them out.
Yeah, they shut them out. So that was a really good call with the Vikings defense last week. Dallas is a 5.5-point favorite at home, minus 275 on the money line with an over-under 47.5. We have the Monday night game, Miami in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3-point favorite at home, minus 170 on the money line with an over-under 42.5. 21 degrees with a wind blowing to the southwest at 8 miles an hour. Kind of crappy primetime games this weekend. You would think with all the matchups that we had, we would have had better matchups in primetime, but it didn't play out that way. So, Any other thoughts you want to add before we look at the position by position breakdown on these plays?
No, we definitely have some cold weather games. We got some key injuries. Got some key injuries to follow this week. But
yeah,
most of it's been settled. I think, but honestly, for injuries, it doesn't feel like a doomsday if he'll play that stuff.
Yeah, I think a Dunze should play. They were saying at one point that he was going to be out for like 3 weeks, but I guess that was a misdiagnosis, maybe. I don't know, but he should be playing tomorrow. I don't know how much throwing they're going to do. It's kind of, to me, it's one of those run the ball games, which Chicago likes to do anyway. But we'll see. They've been throwing the ball quite a bit anyway, regardless of the weather. So they may end up throwing the ball a bunch. Who knows? All right, let's look at the quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, 6,600 on DraftKings, 8,400 on Fanduel. The Ravens have been about average against quarterbacks this year, but his last 3 games against the Ravens, he's averaged 29.6 fantasy points against them. Coming off a nice game in Baltimore. He threw for 284 yards with 4 touchdowns for 25.4 fantasy points. So I do like Joe Burrow this week. I like Brock Purdy. He's 6,200 on DraftKings, 7,500 on FanDuel. The Titans have allowed the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year. Last week, Shadur Sanders had a monster game against them. I don't know what was going on with your model last week, but obviously it was right on. I did not see that happening at all. I didn't see that coming at all with Shadur Sanders, but he had a monster game. I think he was the number 1 quarterback. I'm pretty sure.
No, Allen. I think Allen beat him by 1 point.
Allen beat him out by 1. Yeah. I knew it was probably between him and Allen, but for the value, definitely Shadur was definitely the best play.
And McCarthy, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't either. And Sanders didn't be that highly owned either. He was only like, I think 12% or something. So he wasn't owned.
No, and I watched the game and I understood that.
So you watched the Browns,
the Vikings game. I understood completely why McCarthy did well.
The Vikings game, yeah. I was gonna say, really, you were watching the Browns and Titans? That's surprising.
Who wouldn't?
No, I don't think I'd watch it if I was a Browns fan. But anyway, they have another, Shadur has a good matchup again this week, but the weather, earlier when I wrote this, the weather, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to look like, but now that we know, I don't know how much of a passing game it's going to be for Shadur, but he is 4,700 on DraftKings, 6,600 on FanDuel. The Bears have allowed the 9th most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year. But, with the weather forecast around -20 with the wind chill, I don't think it's going to be the best weather for Shadur. And I think with the Bears being so, turnover happy, like they just forced a ton of turnovers, I think they could pick off Shadur multiple times in this game. So probably not going to go with Shadur with the weather and everything this week, but he did show a lot of promise last week in the game against Tennessee. So who do you like for quarterback this week, Doug? What is the model saying?
I didn't get a chance to finish my model up.
Okay.
I just do a few things in there, and I haven't done anything in great detail. But the model will say Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Barely.
The model probably always says Josh Allen. I mean, he's
barely, but really good. Right behind him, right now I got Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
He's 0.5. I touch 1 point behind him.
Yeah.
And then I got right below him, Lamar Jackson.
Really? Okay.
Jalen Hurts and Burrow, and that's good. And that's already got weather in there.
You got any value plays at quarterback this week?
That I like.
That you like? Yeah.
No, I don't actually.
Brady Cook? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm tempting. On FanDuel, no. DraftKings just sets soft, right?
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, I was played a lineup where I was able to get the top 2 receivers, the Smith, the Jigba, Puka, Nakua, and the McCaffrey, and with one of the better quarterbacks, and I missed it by $200.
Oh man.
They're getting that lineup. And I didn't even punt.
You can play Smith and Jigba and Puka Nakua like every week and probably feel pretty good. Like they're matchup proof, So
yeah, I'll show you that lineup later. DraftKings has a really good price on Dart that we not mentioned yet.
Yeah, I like Jackson Dart. I put him on the thumbnail for that reason. I do like Jackson Dart. I just forgot to mention. But
he's a great value, especially on DraftKings. It's hard. I mean, the ownership isn't there, but if McCarthy can carve up Washington, anybody can. But the thing is, Washington's the Commanders' defense. They have it's called what's called prevent defense on first down as the game starts. I'm not joking. It is that soft.
Prevent defense?
It's such a soft zone. It's almost like a prevent defense.
Yeah.
That because they have so many injuries in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
They have to kind of cover it up, and then they have a middle
cover 2 shell or something, or
and then they've got who's their middle linebacker?
Who, Washington?
30s,
Bobby Wagner.
30-year-old Bobby Wagner.
Yeah,
I'll just anyways, he's so slowed out there now.
Yeah,
and I think that if they could run out, the runners should be able to. And I call Dart as a runner, by the way.
Yeah, both their running backs. I'm trying to remember. I'm looking it up. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Singletary and Tracy.
Their other linebacker is Devin Singletary and Tyron Tracy should be a good play.
But their back, their linebackers are slow, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And McCarthy didn't even have to worry about the linebackers jumping any of the routes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got Von Miller. They got Bobby Wagner, and then Frankie Louvu. And none of those 3 are very fast.
Yeah, Lulu's old now too, and he's playing older.
Yeah, so those guys are getting killed in the middle of their defense for sure.
Yeah, and so and this is a rookie quarterback, and Dart. I don't think he had any problems against Washington's defense.
Yeah,
and that's why I really like him, because he can run or throw.
I like that call. Anyone else before we move to running back?
That I like. Because of the weather, I'm down on Junior Sanders like you are a little bit.
Yeah.
This week. Yeah. I'm not
doing on Caleb too.
What?
Are you down on Caleb Williams too?
Oh, he's been doing more running than passing, Josh. I'm not that down on him.
Okay.
I like Purdy more. You already mentioned guys I like better than him. Like Purdy. I'm gonna be curious, Drake May, how he does this week. I am so curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how Drake May does too. He had a pretty good game against Buffalo earlier this year, and Stephon Diggs really had a nice game, which I'm gonna go over that in a minute. But I think that Drake May is an interesting play this week for sure.
I think Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia is gonna just go all 4 quarters full bore.
Mm-hmm.
And that might put Hurts in that, because they should blow out Las Vegas. If they don't, they're done.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking just beating them by 3 points this week. They got basically blown out, in my opinion. And this is Philadelphia media showing out this out there. But Philadelphia's coaches are listening to Philadelphia media.
Yeah.
That's been their problem this year. From what I've been hearing through a lot of people now. And because of that, I think they're going to try to run up the score on Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that leads me right into my running back play, so I'll use that as a segue. But, Saquon is my top running back, 7,100 on DraftKings, 8,500 on Fanduel. The Raiders have allowed the 9th most fantasy points to running backs this year. Saquon had his best game since week 8 on Monday night. He had 20 carries for 122 rushing yards and a touchdown for 21.2 DraftKings points. Now, a lot of those yards were on that one run, but still they gave him the ball 20 times, which they hadn't been giving him the ball that much lately, which I didn't really understand. I only gave him the ball like 13 times against the Bears. So they still didn't win the game, but they were competitive. They were able to hang in there, giving Barkley the ball more. So I think they'll continue to do that, especially as we go into the colder weather. And they're in must-win mode. They got to win out basically. So I think that they've got to win out just to make the playoffs. Well, I guess they could get in as a division winner, but their record is definitely falling off from where it was
That-
a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And who do you like for Lore?
Chase Brown would be the next play. He's 6,700 on DraftKings, 7,100 on FanDuel. He is that's pretty similar price, but he's had
Never priced up.
6 straight games with 18 or more fantasy points. So going up against the Ravens, he had 18.3 against them on Thanksgiving. He had they have allowed the 11th most fantasy points to running backs this year. At home, I think that, in that colder weather, I think that they'll rely on him pretty heavily. Value play I like is Chris Rodriguez. He's 4,900 on DraftKings, 5,700 on FanDuel. New York has allowed the second most fantasy points to running backs this year. And as you mentioned earlier, Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy, I like them as well on the opposite side. The Commanders have allowed the 6th most fantasy points to running backs this year. So I do like all 3 running backs in that game. And the other running back I could look at is Blake Corum as a value play, but he's kind of more of a last-minute GPP play for me than a priority. So who do you like at running back this week, Doug?
A lot. No, I really, I'm usually in the receivers. This week's kind of more like the running back. But,
Yeah.
I like, we'll go for pay up McCaffrey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A Saquon. I like him. Henry, this will be an interesting week for Henry. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Better this week. And then you got like cheapo, like Woody Marks. He had 91 or 92% of the touches like running back last week, and that's going to go up. The Chubb's out.
Right.
Like that. Travis Etienne going up against the Jets. Lack of run defense.
Sure.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Trevian Henderson for the Patriots. I'll throw in there as a bargain basement guy in some sites.
Yeah.
How cheap is he on DraftKings?
He is.
I found him cheaper. Oh, I don't know what.
He is.
You're on this point.
6,100.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good deal.
I like him on DraftKings. I knew he was really dirt cheap. I like Walker. He's good.
Kenneth Walker.
Almost a great value on both sides, right? Lower 6,000.
Yeah, I like Kenneth Walker
On both sides. He's like a wow play, but for how many carries he might get in that game against Indianapolis,
mm-hmm.
He could do really well. So I do like him at the lower end. Woody Marks I mentioned already, and you got my little sneaky one, Mr. Chris Rodriguez, goal line voucher guy there.
Yeah,
because he is going up against the second worst run defense in the goal line. I think on the top 4. Or
yeah,
they
they've allowed the second most fantasy points to running backs too. So yeah, I like
next to Cincinnati. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I had Henry. I'm thinking about, but I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on him this week. But yeah, Rodriguez I like too. And Neal, he's kind of cheap value, but he's going up against pretty poor Carolina run defense. But quickly, and St. Louis has kept a lot of these games close. So if they do that again, then I think that just guys are going to fall in for a touchdown. The true value it's definitely going to be this week at running back. It's just picking the right running back.
I like the ETN call personally. I think that's a good call against the Jets. And they're a 14-point favorite too. So the game script is definitely favoring the running game in that game.
And Tootin fumbled the ball twice.
Mm-hmm.
He went through concussion protocol during the game, and he cleared it, and he still never brought it back in.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a concussion in the game.
I like that.
But he fumbled twice. I don't know how much of a dog off he's in or not.
Right.
If he's
I would
not getting
imagine
the
he's in the
touches.
doghouse. I mean, Liam seems to have a pretty short leash, so I would imagine he's probably in the doghouse.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll last till this week, so I'm saying no. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Anyways,
Well, let's look at wide receiver. Jamar Chase is my top receiver. You can pair him up with Joe Burrow, of course. He's 8,100 on DraftKings, 9,200 on Fanduel. Last year, he had unbelievable games against the Ravens, 44.3 and 58.4 DraftKings points. So he's putting up some crazy numbers. Pretty good game against them on Thanksgiving, too, though. 7 catches, 14 targets for 110 yards for 21 DraftKings points. He's averaged 28.2 DraftKings points in his last 5 games against Baltimore. So he definitely likes seeing the Ravens, and I would expect that to continue, especially without T. Higgins. Chase is going to get – if you want to look at a Prizepicks play, I think his targets is going to be off the charts. So
okay, who's had more targets, him or Wilson?
Who's going to have more targets between Michael Wilson and
Chase?
Chase? I would say Chase.
It's going to be close.
Well, yeah, but Houston's defense, though, man, they're going to be all over Wilson. They're going to be all over Wilson McBride. So
yeah, they're going to throw the ball so many times still to him.
Is Harrison still out? He is, right?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah,
he's out.
Yeah, I would expect somebody like Greg Dortch or somebody like that to have a decent game, because I think that Stingley is going to be on Wilson. So yeah,
he's just been such a target vulture right now. I do think Wilson is their number 1 next year.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. I mean, he's definitely proved himself during the time that Marvin's been out, for sure. So
I agree, and I just sorry. No, I continue. I just went off that.
Yeah. So next receiver I like is Devontae Adams, 7,200 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel. The Rams scored 45 points last week, but he didn't get a touchdown for the first time in 6 games. So I think he definitely will this week going up against the Lions. They have allowed the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. I think he's going to get in the end zone at least once, probably more than once, but for sure.
I got a question to ask you on him.
Yeah.
He's got a Q tag on him still.
Yeah, he's got the hamstring.
It's his hamstring.
And I've seen him play with that hamstring before, and he's done all right. So as long as he can play, I mean, I think he'll be fine. So they'll probably hold him out, if they think it's going to be an issue, I think. So I think he'll have a nice game. Other side of the matchup, though, I do like Jameson Williams. He's 6,100 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel. He still saw 9 targets last week, even with Amon-Ra St. Brown back in the lineup. He scored 16-plus DraftKings points in 5 of his last 6 games. He had a nice game against the Rams last year with 5 catches on 9 targets for 120 yards and a touchdown for 27.4 DraftKings points. So I definitely like Jameson Williams at his price. Stephon Diggs in a revenge game against the Bills, 6,000 on DraftKings, 6,400 on FanDuel. Had a nice game against them in week 5, 10 catches on 12 targets for 146 yards for 27.6 DraftKings points. And a guy that you mentioned last week who had a nice game, if Parker Washington is out again, I do like Tim Patrick. So that's going to be my value play this week. So what's that?
Just joking.
Yeah, he was your value play. I remember that. And he had a nice game. So it was a good call.
I did good on my receiver value plays last week.
Yeah, for sure.
Every once in a while, someone gets lucky, I guess.
Oh, whatever, dude.
Let's start boomer bust first, okay?
Uh-huh.
Quentin Johnson for San Diego. The Chargers, rather. He's like a huge boomer bust guy you could try. I would not do it in a cash lineup, people. But no. I would not in a million years think this guy's not done anything since week 4. So that's the type of guy that wins JGPP.
Right.
Is Quentin Johnson against KC. Give big pump. Want to throw him out there? I do like let's go down the list, shall we? A little bit. Not that.
What do you like at the top, like between Chase and Jigba and Nakua and those guys?
Yes.
All 3?
No, seriously. I thought people were going to overlook Chase this week, and I looked at ownership or not.
Okay.
A little surprised by that. Puka's a little lower in ownership, but not little. He's high in ownership as well.
Okay.
And Smith and Jigba's high in ownership. I
expect that Rams and Lions game to be pretty high owned. That's my only thing with that because it's got a 54.5 over under. So yeah, I can definitely see ownership being higher on that.
And the reason is that I get a lot of people in the 2 tight end set.
Right.
Because especially in Draftkings, you put 2 good starting tight ends, get a lot of great matchups for tight ends.
Sure. Yeah, I think so too.
So those are the 3 elite. You got Amon St. Brown right after You got 4. You can do Nico Collins, 2 more down, Devontae Adams. If you are going to do Hurts, I would do AJ Brown or Smith.
Yeah, he's definitely AJ Brown's definitely come on, pretty strong of late. He's had some nice games for sure. So,
but I mean, Zay Flowers had a real nice game against Cincinnati. So I mean, I look at that, and then I like your Jameson Williams call. I was going to point him out actually. As a good price. Terry McLaurin, especially on DraftKings.
Yeah, I like
great
that.
value on both sides. Wandale Robinson. He's what? Wandale Robinson, 5,800. I mean, there's so many undervalued. There's a lot of undervalued receivers. You can keep going down the list. 2 more names for fun. Don't play a Colts receiver.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll throw one out there as a Packers fan. I like Jaden Reed this week. I think Christian Watson's going to see Pat Surtain, so I think Jaden Reed could have a nice game.
Yeah, I was looking at Reed and Dobbs. I think exactly Watson's going to have a tough time this week.
Yeah.
And there's a couple more. You got Darius Slayton. And you got Giants against there's someone that's got a pulse against the Commanders. Play him.
Yep.
And then you look at like I can't remember the name. Andre Isikolas, the guy for the Cincinnati number 2.
Oh, Yosavas. Yeah.
Yosavas. I like him this week.
Okay.
He's gonna get the passes. Chase is gonna get so much attention.
Sure, I can. I like that.
And who's the other one I was looking at possibly up?
Yeah, who's the other one they got there? They got what's his name?
Kinsley.
Yeah, Mitchell Kinsley, I think it is. Tinsley.
Yep.
Yeah, Tinsley. Yeah.
Tinsley, yeah. He's 4,300 at Fanduel. He's a really cheap price there. But I think you get better value, honestly, just a tight end. That's why I'm not going to hammer for value on right receiver. Gotcha. I like Dobbs. Dobbs is a good price too.
Yeah, it's going to be hard though because you've got Wicks and Golden barely played. They each played 5 snaps. Wicks was dealing with an ankle injury, and Golden was dealing with a wrist injury. All 5 receivers are supposed to play this week, so it's going to be hard to.
I'm not yelling.
One of the receivers is going to have a big game. I mean, if they play straight man, then one of those. I mean, it's really hard to imagine Denver covering 5 wide receivers if they go 5 wide. So I could see Wicks having a big game. I could see Reed having a big game. I could see Watson having a big game if they don't put Surtain on him. So it's really hard to predict. That's the thing about the Packers now that their receivers are healthy. It's going to be really hard to predict in fantasy, regular season fantasy and DFS. Which receiver is going to go off each week. So, yeah.
Right. And the thing with this, I do say one thing is that Denver's slowly been giving up more receiving yards.
But I noticed. They really haven't been playing that well lately either. I mean, they almost lost to Washington. They barely beat the Raiders. They've kind of struggled a little bit, I mean, not that they're not still one of the best teams in the league at 11-2, and they've won, I think, 10 in a row now. So definitely respect that, but they're not unbeatable by any means.
I'm going to consider your Diggs revenge game possibility. The thing is that he has not been getting the target, but they might need him.
Yeah, I
It's
think
gonna
they
be a big
will.
time
I think
shootout.
it's going to be a shootout. Yeah, I do. I agree. Okay,
And
so
that puts
tight ends. Let's look at tight ends. My top tight end play is Tyler Warren. He's 4,700 on DraftKings, 5,900 on Fanduel. They have allowed the second most fantasy points to tight ends this year. I think that they always say that a tight end is a quarterback safety net, and with Philip Rivers being away from the league for 5 years, like we were talking about, would make a lot of sense for him to target Tyler Warren. So they have that is the one area that Seattle has struggled is against tight ends. So they've allowed the second most fantasy points to tight ends. Also, like Brenton Strange against the Jets. And then Isaiah Likely, he's 3,400 on DraftKings, 5,200 on FanDuel. He's had double-digit fantasy points in back-to-back games with 6 targets in each of those games. And one of those was against the Bengals on Thanksgiving. He had 5 catches on 6 targets for 95 yards for 13.5 DraftKings points. And, of course, the Bengals have allowed the most fantasy points to tight ends this year. So I do like that. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of a sleeper play out there, and that's going to be Josh Wiley for the Packers. If the receivers are all, being covered pretty well and everything, I could see somebody like that getting a touchdown at super cheap. So I think that he's a GPP punt play, but you do kind of have those kind of guys that every now and then get a touchdown or something and end up being in a winning lineup. So there was one last week. Who was it that got it? Maybe 1 or even 2 touchdowns last week at tight end that was like almost free. And he was
total no name, yeah.
In a winning lineup. Yeah, he was in the winning lineup. I can't remember. I'll look it up while you're giving your tight end plays, and I'll tell you who it was.
Great. Sounds good. The top 3 are McBride, Kittle, Bauer. Wow. Yeah. I don't like Bowers this week. Don't play him.
Right.
I mean, he would. It just not. I don't think it's gonna be healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that San Fran pretty may play to push past the Kittle. Their number 2 receiver. I get mouths to feed there now. Their receiving core now is getting healthier. Now my number 1 would be Fanning Jr.
Right.
He's number 4 on my chart. He'd be easily great better value. Mark Andrews, Lively. I have him in both lineups and one lineup I played where I've got Lamar captain or captain quarterback. Whoa.
Yeah.
Today. Kincaid going up against New England. Defense is a nice matchup there. I don't know anybody's going to play that one.
Right.
Who else do I have?
So real quick, I found who it was. It was a Viking. It was Josh Oliver. He had 2 touchdowns last week.
Oh, so. He's not a bad receiver, though.
Yeah. No, I know, but no one played that dude. I mean, he is like 0.2% owned or something. I mean, nobody played him. So
yeah, and he just. I think if you looked up last year, did he have 2 touchdowns last year? Yeah, he's had a couple.
I think he did have something like that. But Harold Fannin was the top tight end last week, but Josh Oliver was the best value when you look at the pricing. So
yeah, and see, like me in my dynasty league, I got Fannin and I got Warren.
Oh yeah,
and I played Warren last week. I still won, but anyways, no, I played Fannin last week. He had a better matchup. I do like the Fannin. The thing is that there are a couple question marks. Jigba is questionable, and then they have one other pass catcher that's also questionable for who it is. So if Jigba, Fanning's already getting targeted, and Shooter Sanders already has a great connection, like I mentioned last week. Sure. And it just continue, and I don't know why it's going to stop. Cold weather, wind, tight end, run game, and tight end.
Yeah, I agree.
And Fanning can actually take a couple balls.
Do you like Colston Loveland too?
No.
Okay. And not Colton.
I'm harsh on him, but he's only had like 1 or 2 sprinkles here or there.
Yeah, he did get in the end zone last week, and they sold out on the blitz basically to go after Kill. But yeah,
that's good pass. That's good designed by Johnson on that one. And
yeah,
I love Theo Johnson this week for the Giants. He's in a lot of my lineups as well. And I don't know any other weird names. That's really it. You did the lively. Parkinson for the Rams. If
Parkinson, yeah.
Adams is out, I definitely.
Okay, if Adams is out, I got you. Okay. Did you say you do not like Brock Bowers this week?
I really don't because of quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the Eagles defense, I mean, they're pretty tough in the middle of that defense like that. So,
Top 5 against Titans.
yeah. So I get that. All right. Defense, of course, Seattle against Phillip Rivers. I think that's a no-brainer. I think they're the highest price though on every site, so that's the only thing about them. Jacksonville against the Jets, I like them. Houston against Arizona. I know Jacoby Brissett's had a lot of success this year. He's kind of been a surprise story, but Houston's defense is different, and I think they're definitely going to have a good game against him. The Bears and the Browns, you can play either one of them. I would probably lean with the Browns for ownership purposes. The Bears should have the higher score, but you never know. It's going to be a defensive game either way. And then the Bengals had a good game on Thanksgiving against the Ravens, and I think they'll have another good game this week. So any of those defenses or anyone besides those defenses, I should say, that you like, or pretty much the same?
My top defenses, I don't like is yours. But in actuality, just because you have an experienced quarterback that's not going to throw 4 interceptions and a pick 6, I like the Eagles defense a little better.
Okay.
I do like the Bears defense a lot. Like you do.
Yeah.
And Texans against Arizona.
Yep.
You know most of them. A couple sneaky ones that people might not be thinking about. One I really like for cheap, and that's Carolina.
Okay, I can see that. Now the Raiders, who's their quarterback going to be?
Oh, someone not good. I'd have to look it up, but I don't think Smith's playing.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
And you have
Kenny Pickett.
Pickett.
Who used to be a backup in
and
and
he's got a fitting name, doesn't he? Pickett.
Yeah.
He's not good.
No,
he's not. And I think the Eagles defense is gonna get pressure.
Yeah, I like that call. I do like that.
Yeah. And Carolina going up against New Orleans, and Carolina's playing for the playoffs.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck had a good game last week against Tampa, but Tampa's falling apart too. So.
Yeah, and they're running the ball in on Tampa, and the quarterbacks are running on them. I don't know why.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, how Tampa's run defense has not been good, which is surprising with Vita Vea.
One guy can't stop the run.
Yeah, exactly.
The Saints is not a bad value defense. The others,
Carolina,
and those are 2 cheapies I like.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to our locks of the week. Last week I took the Bucks over the Saints. Obviously, that didn't work out. This week I'm going to take San Francisco over Tennessee. My upset's going to be last week I took the Chargers, which they did upset the Eagles. The Bengals 2.5 versus the Ravens. And then I'm going to say my bold prediction, Drake May will outscore Josh Allen in fantasy. So
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go get my water.
Nothing wrong. Yeah. I guess my lock of the week, honestly, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Houston. I'm going to throw 3 locks at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My upset of the week would be Cleveland beating the Bears.
I hope so. Let's see. This week you're going to take. You took Houston last week, and you got that right. So.
Yeah. So originally I was going to say Houston, so stick them with them.
So who is your lock this week? The Jaguars?
I could say Jaguars. Yeah, definitely Jaguars.
Okay.
And like you said last week, they're playing good ball.
Yeah, they are. And then what's your bold prediction?
Oh, I don't know if that bold, but Kansas City's favored by 5.5 points over the Chargers.
I think so, something like that. Yeah,
I'm taking the Chargers flat out.
Chargers win outright. Okay, yeah, 6-6. They're 6-point favorite. Yeah,
Even more.
yeah.
And my upside, like I told you, was Cleveland. You got that right.
Cleveland, yeah, Cleveland over Chicago. All right, so that'll go to our. I just checked the chat, so didn't see any new messages. Prizepicks plays. As I mentioned, assuming he plays Devontae Adams, I'll take him more than 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns. Jamar Chase more than 69.5 receiving yards. That's a goblin play as a low payout. Joe Burrow more than 19 fantasy score. And Caleb Williams, more than 29.5 passing attempts. He's thrown for 30 or more passes in 10 of 13 games this year. And Cleveland's been pretty tough against the run. So even if the weather keeps them from throwing the ball down the field much, you could still see a lot of dump passes like we saw against the Packers last week. So I like him to throw more than – he threw like 35 times, I think, against the Packers. So I could see him definitely throwing more than 29.5 against them. Especially without Denzel Ward. And then I have one more for our members that I'll save. So that will take us to our FanDuel GPP lineup. And I believe you took Jordan Love last week at quarterback. So I'm going to go with my quarterback pick. I like the Jackson Dart play. So I'm going to go with Jackson Dart.
Let's see how far down he is.
He's 7,600. So he's kind of actually. I hope I don't regret this. I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. He's only 100 less, but going up against Tennessee, that defense. Not that the Commanders' defense has been that great either, but they gave up that monster game to Shadur. You would think they give up a pretty big game to Brock Purdy too.
Let's get him something to throw to.
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey? Okay.
His top receiver.
Yeah.
What, McCaffrey's questionable? Hang on.
Who's questionable?
McCaffrey added to the injury report Saturday was back.
McCaffrey?
McCaffrey did, yeah. Added to the injury report.
Okay.
Back is expected to play.
Okay.
I am not going to play a player that it may be a blowout, and he's back. It affected him. So I am removing him from that pick.
Okay.
Kittle at tight end then.
You want to go with Kittle? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say I like Kittle too. I'm going to go with Chase at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 6,100 per player.
We're fine. Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
62.
62. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Marks, 65.
Mm-hmm. Wendell Robinson, 58.
Oh, we got a lot of dough left. I like the Eagles defense, like you said. I think that's a good call. 6,750 per player.
The Eagles defense, huh?
Yeah, I like that call against Kenny Pickett.
So that leaves us flex and receiver.
Flex and receiver, yep.
I'm going to go to flex.
Okay.
FanDuel's got their GP pricing. Sorry, it's going down a little bit here, people. He's still doing that. I'm going to do Fanning 57.
Okay. 5,700. And I will take.
You know, San Fran has been playing down to the
Normally, I would take. What's that?
San Fran has been playing down to their competition.
Yeah, a little bit, but I still like them. Normally, I take Wilson here, but not against Houston. I respect that defense a lot.
I like McLaurin a lot.
Yeah, I was looking at either him or Diggs. I think I'm going to go with McLaurin. I think I like that matchup. Yeah. So that leaves us with 700. If I take out Marks, let me see where that puts us at. Williams, Brown.
Diggs is at 64. That's really far.
Who you like more between Brown, Dowdle, Henderson, and Marks?
Brown.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Okay. So we got Purdy, Walker, Brown, Chase, Robinson, McLaurin, Kittle, Fannin, and then the Eagles defense. Okay.
So we got two guys on Cincinnati, no one from Baltimore. Oh boy. Let's do a change. I want to do a Baltimore tight end instead of Fanning.
Okay, you want to do Likely? Or do you want to do Andrews?
They're both cheaper than Fanning. Well, you know what? Just leave it.
Leave it? Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to do, well, we got Purdy. I was going to say, unless you want to do somebody beside Kittle. You want to do Likely or Andrews instead of Kittle.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So we got Purdy, Walker, Brown, Chase, Robinson, McLaurin, Kittle, Fannin, and the Eagles defense.
Yeah. The only reason I'm saying that is if Lamar goes on his own, then
yeah.
You know, and he spreads it to 4 different receivers. And
right. Yeah. I see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird, but we've got like 30 minutes. We're supposed to have the NBA Cup game. So we got to post our NBA lineups here in just a second. Any last minute thoughts before we get out of here, Doug?
No, it's playoff time. It's gonna be some really good games to watch.
Yeah, fantasy playoffs for a lot of leagues out there. Unfortunately, I didn't make the playoffs in my leagues. Kind of crazy. It's been a long time since I can say that. I don't know if I've ever had where I didn't make it in any of my leagues, but just a rough year for injuries for me. So
I was doing really good until Daniel Jones went down.
Yeah.
I still have 3 great quarterbacks. No one else has 2 in their league players. It doesn't matter when I have coach running back, and then they have the tight end, and their offense and then going up against Seattle the first week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just horrible. It's like, well, what are you going to do? Because your best running back,
right,
it's going up against Seattle. I'm not going to play him over the other guys I have. They're not
right. Yeah, because they're gonna force Rivers. I'm sure going to try and force him to beat them instead of John. Obviously. So.
And Fannon's got a slightly better matchup. I mean, I could play him. I could play Warren or him. It don't matter.
Yeah.
No, it's just a little rougher. But
good matchups.
So. I have Williams at receiver. He's normally my 5th receiver. I'll be playing him this week. But
yeah. Let me see what if there's any NBA news. I don't see any yet.
There really isn't. I guess the thing is of the NBA Cup coming up here, especially like Fanduel breakdown real quick. We had time, right?
Yeah.
For 2 minutes. You play a little basketball time here. It's who you're going to spend down for. And
right.
Because you've got a couple guys. You got like Wallace at 4,700. You got Dort at 4,100. You got the Silva. I'm talking Fanduel prices.
Right.
The Silvas at 4,000. You have those three as cheapest pay downs. And then you've got Gogo at center at a good game against them last time around in a decent matchup. And
yeah.
So you got, and they get Wendell Carter pretty cheap price too.
Yeah.
And so
I don't think you have to pay up for SGA tonight either. I mean, the Thunder just blow everybody out. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who they play lately. It seems like every game's a blowout, at least 20 points. So
here's the one thing that can make it more interesting, and this is I'm going to play like this tonight. Is that I think the San Antonio matches up better when healthy than any other team in NBA against OKC.
Yeah.
Because they got the guard.
They got Fox and Castle, and then you got Wemby, and I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, and they've got the defense as well when healthy.
Yeah.
They do it, and they'll help.
But is Wemby going to be on a minutes limit?
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know how.
That's the only thing is, what if Oklahoma City goes on a, 20-something to nothing or 20-something to 2 or something run while Wemby's on the bench? Then you're looking at a completely different game. So
you got Hartenstein coming back tonight.
Yeah.
He's been gone. He'll be on a minutes restriction.
Hartenstein's coming back, and Williams is back.
Williams is on a minutes restriction.
Yeah. But they're on a different level from the rest of the league. I mean, their record back up 24-1. So
and they're favorable, what, 10.5?
Yeah.
Instead of 20 or what, they're favored by 30 last time out, Josh. It's like that. It was really a lot.
Yeah, they're
anyways.
Man, they really are. They're the 2018 Warriors all over. They're tough. So, well, I hope everybody has enjoyed this podcast. Like I said, we're going to go post our NBA lineups for our members in our Discord. Which again, if you are new to our Discord, we would love to have you join us there. Shoot us a DM on X at DFS Coach Talk, or you can email dfscoachtalk@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to get you in our membership, in a membership for a week for our Discord. Be glad to get you in there. So hope everybody has a great week. We will absolutely crush it and be back again next week as we do continue to look to crush it in NFL, DFS, and Prizepicks. Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you.